what the future is going to look like with the person. You're also not very sure if that person's attentions are focused on you, whether you're really building a relationship together, one that is healthy, one that is strong, and one that has an expected end. And I think one of the things that sometimes we do in relationships is we're very excited about the beginning, but we don't think exactly about where we want it to end up because we are just enjoying the process of being with the person. And so that always brings in some sense of insecurity when you're not sure where you stand with the person that you're with. And it's also when both of you have very different expectations of one another, and it's not very clear where you want to go with one another in the relationship.
Okay, great. Now I want to. Phoebe, were you still saying something?
No, I'm listening to you.
Okay. I want to find out. So how does this come about? How do we get here in a relationship? Where we started off with a lot of love and consideration for each other. There was something I definitely saw in you that made me come close to you, right?
Yeah.
That made me ask that we start building a relationship and see where it will go. Then all of a sudden, all of these things start playing out. I have fears about being with you. I am anxious. I kind of feel that I am losing interest. Then somebody becomes controlling in the relationship. Where are you? What are you doing? I'm finding it very hard to believe you, and I'm finding it very hard to trust you. All of a sudden, one person is unable to breathe because they have this, they want to prove themselves to their partner because their partner doesn't seem to believe them or trust them, right? You become sensitive and sometimes overbearing.
Yeah.
Everything you say is misinterpreted, the suspicion. You just can never be right or true in their eyes, right? And Phoebe also mentioned that at some point you don't even feel or know where you stand in the relationship. Are we moving forward or because you seem to be marking time? Nothing seems to be working. And if you are the one who is at the receiving end of your partner being insecure, then there's so much work on you, especially so if you want the relationship and you love the person, then you feel like you have to do so much to be able to prove themselves to you. How do we get here in a relationship? How does this come about?
Okay.
So,
Or are you going to Zoom?
Okay,
Oh,
Kofi
oh,
started, so
Kofi
let me.
started.
okay, all right, sorry. So for some people may be prone to feel insecure in their relationship because of past experiences. Maybe a parent left them, unannounced for no reason, and so they have come to fear that the people that they trust in their lives may leave them without any reason. And so the moment they start seeing any signs that reminds them of a mother or a father or even a brother or a sibling leaving, then they fear that you would leave too. In the same vein, if they were rejected in the past or previous relationship by a loved one, then anytime they see signs, maybe you told one or two lies that reminds them of what their past boyfriend or past wife or husband did, then they begin to fear that you are about to do the same. So generally, the problem may be you, or it may be your fears may actually be may not be unfounded. Maybe they're showing signs that makes you genuinely believe that they are not interested in you because they don't keep their word, they don't show commitment to you, they are not kind to you generally, and then that will make you wonder if they are in for the long haul, and that will set you doubting the future of the relationship.
Great. Hey, real.
Yes. The thing is, insecurity doesn't start when you meet someone. It's not the cause of what the person is doing at that moment that makes one insecure. It is something that the person might have been living with for a long time before meeting you. Then it starts showing based on the things you do. So we get there, as you're asking, due to experiences we've had. The first one is the lack of family emotional support. when we are growing up. Lack of family emotional support is the beginning of insecurity that we start having. The next one is when our physiological needs are not fully met, it makes us grow to become insecure. I mean, you go to school and your shoe may not always be good. It's not. I mean, all those, or you don't live in a home that you feel confident for your friends to come and visit you, or when you are in school, you don't have the nice meal to eat. You know, all these physiological needs from the beginning can cause somebody to develop insecurity in themselves, comparing themselves to people. The next one is lack of openness. When people are not open, it means they have some fear. They don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to be agreeable. And so they've developed a way of thinking that if I see someone do this, it means they are a threat to my emotional well-being. So people have created that sense of insecurity already before they are meeting you. And so whatever you are doing, you coming in as your normal self, let me put it like that, with all your attitudes and behavior and moods, can be a trigger for their already perceived threat to their sense of security. So people don't just meet you and based on what you're doing makes them insecure. Though there could be instances, but very rare. If we are talking about people who are already insecure, then it doesn't necessarily happen because they met you today and you have a particular personality. They already have things that when they see them in a person triggers their insecurity.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Phoebe.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great. Yes, I was asking how this comes about.
How people develop
Yes,
insecurity.
so like I gave a context to it that, I mean, we started this relationship beautifully. Then all of a sudden, all the you know the examples of insecurity we give starts creeping into the relationship. And how do we get there? How do people get there?
It's a number of things. One of the issues, the reasons why people develop insecurity is because of our lack of emotional intelligence, understanding how we feel about things, understanding how to interact with other people's feelings as well, understanding the environment that we are in and how we relate to one another on an emotional level. Some of these things actually affect our ability to identify what our needs are so that it's easier for us to see when a situation causes us to feel insecure. So when a person starts a relationship with somebody new, what is really important, I've mentioned many times, is communication. Understanding where you're both coming from, because what could make me feel insecure could not make you feel insecure. For instance, someone says, I don't want you speaking to your exes because it makes me feel insecure knowing that you're still interacting with them. Someone else would say, I don't have a problem because I know that you've chosen me and you want to be with me. Now, the reason why one person may feel insecure in one situation or the other, it really differs from person to person.
Yeah.
A lot of this is experience. A lot of this is obviously how we were nurtured, how we were brought up. And so in communication and in conversation, we're able to understand what our needs are. And one thing that I always say is that at the beginning of the relationship, it's so important to really outline your expectations. Don't keep them hidden, because that's why sometimes these insecurities can be triggered, because the person on the receiving side, there's a person receiving that insecure behavior, will be wondering, okay, I had no idea that this would be a problem for you. If I knew, then maybe choose me because I don't have a problem with this. No understanding. And I can't really blame everybody, because knowing ourselves helps us to really allow people to know who we are, and helps us also to have healthier relationships. It's not ideal to be in a relationship where I'm feeling insecure or you are feeling insecure about me. And so when these situations also come up, it's so important to start discussing and talking about it immediately and say, okay, this thing actually triggers me or makes me feel uncomfortable. Start with yourself. Why is it making you feel uncomfortable? What is it about that behavior that makes you feel as if the person could cheat on you or the person could leave you? What kind of emotion does it evoke? You need to spend time to really identify it before you start communicating with the people around you or potential suitors, and let them understand where you're coming from. But a lot of it requires a lot of introspective work, a lot of healing, and a lot of communication.
Great.
Them.
Yes.
To add to what has been said, I think we also have to understand that trust is built over a period of time. And so
Yes.
it may be quite normal that at the beginning of a relationship you may harbor some or experience some anxiety and some level of doubt, because it is not easy to entrust your life and your future into the hands of another person that you barely know. And so when you start a relationship and you exhibit some doubts and anxiety, it is quite normal. But it is how you act on those doubts and anxieties that may spell the difference between a good amount of anxiety and a bad one that can actually kill the relationship.
Okay, great. I kind of feel this is a subject that we can discuss for the next 4 hours, because there are lots of angles to this thing, for instance, when you have a partner who is insecure and their insecurity makes them exhibit controlling behaviors over you.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of conversation already.
Yeah.
But then in talking about how this comes about, I also know that when people are not fully healed from their past experiences, so for instance, you were dating somebody and you have come into a new relationship, and because whatever it is that got that relationship to not be successful, you have fully not healed from it. And so you come into this new relationship thinking that this person can also do it, and so even when they haven't done it, you're insecure, and then all of a sudden you start projecting your fears and all of those things on the person. And then now they have a very big responsibility of proving to you that I am not that way. And for me, that is too much work. And you also have wanting to prove a point. People go into relationships, and for instance, again, they know who you were with and you broke up with that person and they are with you now. They know that some way, somehow, that person is better than them in terms of maybe their social status and all of those things. Because of that, you kind of feel that, okay, yeah, the person is with you now and they have accepted that you are their partner.
Yeah.
But at the back of your mind, they were with somebody who, had it better than you. And so now you come and put a lot of pressure on yourself, wanting to equal up, and then that becomes another issue. And we see it a lot of times. And threats from your past, always afraid that your past may come back to you. Always afraid that your past may come back to you. And so you put the people into that box and you expect the world of them. And this can be very, very daunting on a relationship, because I have I've seen quite a number, and it's not very pleasant. But I want to ask, flipping it, I want to ask Kofi talked about trust. Couldn't it also be that you had a smooth relationship going and you also start exhibiting some character traits that all of a sudden puts fear in your partner, and for them to start feeling
insecure
about you, and then you put it in their face that they are just being insecure. That's also possible, right?
It is it's possible. I mean, as I shared before, somebody will have fears or trust issues. They have dealt with something. So if they meet you, they may be very confident in the relationship from the beginning, but you may do something that reminds them of something they had seen before, or you do something and they wonder if you can do the same thing to them. I had a friend who said, if I go out with someone, the way they treat people make me question how they would treat my friends or my family, because that's how they behave towards other people. So it's true that you can meet someone and you are very secure, but they will show their side of themselves that makes you feel not certain. But that in itself can become an insecurity pattern for you. It can show a threat to the relationship, but not a threat to you as a person. I like that you mentioned the wounds and the not healing from our past relationship thing. If you are fully healed, you see people as an individual who they are. They are not a representation of somebody else that you had dealt with.
Yeah.
And that is what we do. We see people as we see other people we have dealt with. So if they are doing something that, it reminds us of a characteristics of someone we've dealt with in the past, then we think, okay, then she's going to do the same thing Akosia did or Ya did. So being in a relationship in itself, if you are secured in yourself, if you have, secured in yourself physically, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and all that, even your body image, your social, you are secured, very little things will trigger you to totally become an insecure person. You may have concerns, you can share them. If you are secured, you have confidence. So if you find something that makes you uncomfortable, you will be able to communicate it. But a totally insecure person would not just come in a relationship and then, something just happens before they become an insecure person. You can have concerns in relationship, and that is very, very fine, and not become necessarily insecure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I want us to look
Edem,
at okay.
I think there's something that we also need to underscore. There is a tendency for someone who is actually causing someone to feel insecure to gaslight them, to manipulate them to think that the problem is them. You are the problem. You're being delusional. Oh, it's all in your mind. I'm not doing anything. Meanwhile, you know that you are really causing them to feel the way they do by your actions. And so it is not always the case that where someone shows signs of insecurity, then the problem is them. It could actually be the other party who, instead of trying to fix themselves or change the situation, will rather be pointing fingers at the victim, that you are the problem. And so sometimes some people really have genuine concerns why they behave the way they do.
Okay, I think that, look, Kofi, what you're saying is very right, and that should have a very simple test to it, right? You should simply be asking yourself, if they were doing this to me, how would I feel?
Yeah.
Exactly.
If it was the other way around, how would I take it? Because I am doing it and expecting that they don't react or feel anything. If they were doing it to me, how would I feel? That's the very same. Yeah.
Let me give examples. If you're with your spouse or your partner, and anytime you're on your phone and they're approaching you, you hide the phone. Or you're with them and you get phone calls and you have to get up to go somewhere else and take the calls. Why would they not feel insecure? Why would they not suspect that you're doing something that you don't want them to know about?
Kofi, someone will tell you that, oh, I put the phone away because you're here and I want to show that I'm giving you all my attention. That's why I'm putting the phone away. For somebody who, like you're saying, somebody who wants to gaslight you and make you feel like everything you're thinking is in your head, they will find very interesting ways around it that you end up feeling very foolish for even thinking that way, when in actual fact, what you're thinking and feeling is very true.
Yeah.
Now, I want us to go into, okay, so how does this affect the relationship? You, the person who is feeling insecure, and your actions, and how the other person may be taking it. Hopefully we have time to look at the effect on the relationship and then also talk about how to deal with it. But let me remind our audience that This is Home Affairs. We are live on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Edem Knight-Tay. I'm here with Reverend Kofi Boateng Esquire, Phoebe Big Besemete, and Ariel, the wellness coach. I will be back to take their answers on the effect of insecurity, on our relationships. But let me remind you that Yum Vita infant cereal with milk is fortified with Nutri-V, which contains 16 essential vitamins and minerals containing zinc, iron, and calcium to aid in baby's healthy growth. It comes in 3 delicious flavors: maize and wheat, rice and wheat variants, and 3 unique pack sizes. That's the 50 gram, the 400 gram tea, and the 350 gram block bottom pouch. Get the pack size that best suits your family needs. Yum Vita, a delicious way to grow. And go ahead and enrich your breakfast with the nourishing goodness of Dano Milk Cool Cow Instant Powdered Milk. The rich taste of Dano Milk makes a perfect combination with your tea, oats, and cocoa, and it gives you that great tasting breakfast you've always desired. Dano Milk Cool Cow is fortified with vitamin A, and it's also a good source of protein and nutrients such as vitamin B12 and iodine to help keep you nourished and strong always. Dano Milk is affordable and in a shop near you. Choose Dano Milk today for your nourishment and build your strength every day. Dano Milk, go for it. This advert is FDA approved. And for the longest time, I have been telling you about Amasha Partners Limited. Where do you go for your eye care challenges? If you haven't been going to Amasha, then I am wondering where you have been going, and also wondering if you have been getting the best care. Because your eyes deserve the best care and quality designer eyeglasses if you need them. And Amasha Partners can take care of everything your eyes need. Talk about supply of designer frame, sight testing, supply of lenses, sunglasses, contact lenses, ophthalmologist in attendance, and general treatment. You can locate us at La Opsa Trade Fair, Spinters, adjacent ICGC before the Community 18 Junction. And then when you go to McCarthy Hill, they are opposite Benjay Lodge, not Kanishi's Swan Lake, opposite Greenhand Junction. Achimoto's second floor, Dainsua Plaza, Takrade, they are on the Axim Road, opposite CBG Bank. Ho, they are opposite the Housing Junction. Kumasi at the airport roundabout, Kolebu opposite ECG, and in Koforidua, they are on the Central Hospital Road. And then in Tema Community 1, you will find them inside the Meridian Plaza. Contact numbers 0302 939850, 0302 939850, and 0302 778827, 0302 778827. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And oh yeah. Ariel is wondering what I am coming to say that I am so excited about. Yes, I am excited about this news because my team and I have put together another forum. And it is the Joy Christian Forum, the 3rd edition. And this one is themed chastity and morality. How are the youth staying chaste in today's world? Very, very, very critical conversation. Remember, the book of Galatians admonishes us to walk in the Spirit so that we will not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Are the youth of today able to walk in the Spirit and fulfill Scripture? In today's world where jobs are scarce and the youth are exposed to all kinds of financial and sexual pressures, as well as various forms of immorality, we are wondering, how are they staying chaste? How well is the Christian youth fleeing from all of these immoral and abominable acts that have besieged the world? Are they losing the battle? Is the church equal to the task? And as always, your radio for discerning listeners, Joy 99.7 FM, will provide the platform and lead the conversation with some of our renowned and knowledgeable guests to seek answers to some of the thorny issues plaguing today's youth. The panelists include Elder Amos Kevin Annan, convener Singles in 3D Summit, Reverend Mrs. Catherine Omuodo Kitts, a family life counselor and founding president, Family Renaissance International, and Andrew Yakwa, a pastor and a counselor based in Kumasi. Your host will be Pastor Atuakwa. Date 28th August 2023. Time is 7 p.m. We'll be live on Joy 99.7 FM and on our social media handles at Joy997. If you want to make any inquiries, you can call 0302-216540. And let me say a very big thank you to the producer leading this, Michaela Richter Anderson Nye. Thank you so much. Now, let me also tell you about a concert we have coming up. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. On Sunday, the 27th of August 2023 at 4 p.m., come join Perez Music as he presents the second edition of Glorified, a spirit-filled worship concert. This year's theme is Grace and Mercy. We needed a dumni humobro. I'm a nouvelle blanc pokpo. Yay! Grace and Mercy. Ministering will be Perez Music. Pastor Joe Beecham, Cindy Thompson, and Sissy Beide. The venue is the Victory Bible Church International Dominion Sanctuary. Our rate is absolutely free. You don't have to pay anything. Just come in, join us as we lift our voices in worship. For indeed, if not by the grace and mercies of God, where will we be? This event is powered by Joy Entertainment. Thank you for choosing us as always. This is Home Affairs. We're live on Joy 99.7 FM. And now to my next question on the subject of insecurity. How does it impact our relationships? How does it impact our relationships? And I'll start with you, Phoebe, this time around. The effect of being insecure. Especially so when you're manifesting all those other behaviors around, because you're insecure, you become controlling, you become suspicious, people can't breathe around you. Your word is you assume the position of God, right? What you say is truth. Your partner can't even defend themselves. Whatever it is that they say is not true. They have to say yes to everything you're saying, because what you're thinking must be what it is. Even if it is not what it is, it must be what it is. And if they have any explanations contrary to what you're thinking, then they are liars, they can't be true, they can't be trusted, and you start treating them badly. What is the effect of these behaviors on our relationships?
Oh gosh, in such a relationship, I don't know if you can even call it a relationship. But I mean, obviously, initially it will cause a lot of extreme discomfort, and it could lead the person to become even paranoid and Phoebe, suspicious of their own behavior.
Phoebe, hold on, let me add a little bit of context to it, especially so when you said that you wonder if you can be in such a relationship. Remember that you probably are in this relationship and you love the person.
Edem.
No, true. You are in love with the person. Like, you love.
I know.
Whatever it is that you're loving, I don't even know. But like, your heart is into them, and you only wish that they understood you on a certain level, so you can have a very beautiful and peaceful relationship. But this is who they are. So it is not the case that you are thinking of running away. They are doing all of these things to you, but you love them. So let me put it in that context.
Well, in that particular context, like I said, it will cause a lot of extreme discomfort. And what happens is it becomes quite unbalanced, because you are spending your whole time trying to please that person, reassure them that you're faithful, reassure them that you're actually committed to the relationship. So it seems like instead of the relationship actually growing, it stagnates. It gets to the point where, all you're doing is trying to please that particular person and give them constant reassurances that you are the person for them. And so it becomes really unbalanced and unfairly balanced. And what usually happens to the person who keeps receiving these accusations, because that's what's going to happen. You feel like there's a target on your back. You can't, even the person who is suspected of, causing insecurity will be him or herself become insecure, because every time they are doing something, they have to question themselves. Yeah, they second guess themselves. They are not relaxed. They become also insecure in the relationship. And like I said, I mean, I was saying that you can't even call such a thing a relationship, because you are not relating to one another in a holistic and healthy manner. And it becomes quite toxic, and you start to even repel people around you, because there's that aggravation and frustration around the two of you, because you can't just bond and grow together. And so I don't know, it's not a very ideal scenario for anyone to be in. And so as much as you may love that person, there is a point where you have to sit with them and let them know that these accusations are unfounded. If they insist that they still believe that that is the person that you are, if you want to stay with them, you have to acknowledge that after a while to start to affect you personally. But if you sit with them and you insist that, look, there's a problem here, you think this about me, it is not true, we need to get to the root of it. Like we discussed before, it could be a former relationship, it could be something that experienced as a child or from your parents or a family member that has made you become this way. We need to get to the root of it. Seek counseling, seek support, but don't stay there. I mean, that is not a healthy holistic relationship that you can be proud of. And it's a place where even you can begin to develop certain insecurities. You start to hear voices, you start to exhibit certain behaviors that are not healthy at all for you mentally. It's just going to haunt you and worry you all the time. It's not an ideal situation for anyone to be in.
Great. When I we've had to discuss this before, right? And I was going to say that this person we are talking about, sometimes they are very haughty. And somebody who is haughty. I was looking for the meaning of the word. Arrogantly superior and disdainful. Yeah, sometimes that's how it plays out.
Yeah.
And I mean, every you can't be yourself, around them. So your life should be a mirror of their expectations of you. If you were the type who loved to hang out with the girls, they make you understand that relationship, at the end of the day, you hang out with them for so long, you end up becoming very disrespectful, you end up learning about feminism and all of those things. So everything that you believe in doing won't have to happen.
Yeah.
Almost like, they are narcissistic people.
Yeah.
Ariel, let me come to you. Some of the effects. I mean, Phoebe has talked about the fact that the relationship becomes unfairly balanced. It becomes toxic. And I like the bits where she talks about the fact that the two of you end up repelling people who are around you, because people can see through your actions. They know it when you are nice, they know it when you are fighting, they know it when you are distant from each other, and yet trying to still be together and stay as friends or lovers. You begin and you make mockery of yourselves, and Phoebe, I like those points very much.
She nailed it right there. I mean, insecurity in a relationship, I would say it's an abuse already. It is an abuse on the other person receiving that. And the first place it affects us is our mental health. And Phoebe touched on that. As soon as you are in a relationship with an insecure person, your mental health is threatened, because you start to even lack confidence in yourself, trying to always validate this person, tell them I'm not going to leave you. I mean, you become anxious of yourself because you don't know what you will do tomorrow. That will trigger them. And what happens is, over a time, you are unsure of who you are. You start losing yourself. Insecure people Always target your qualities. What I've seen is the good part about you, the things, the light you want to share in the world are the things they want to take away from you. The things people see about you and they find it very good about you are the things insecure people cannot stand around you. So in trying to always maintain such a relationship, just as Phoebe said that this is not a relationship, you will lose who you are. Because you always be putting down everything that inspires you, motivates you to be your true self. You're going to lose your authentic self. And so over time, you become another version of yourself that you don't know, and it start leading to depression. It start leading to social insecurity on your behalf, because now you don't even know how to show up in public for your partner not to feel that you are flirting. I've had someone tell me you are flirting. I'm like, I'm a people's person. People see me and how they respond to me, I have totally no control over that, you see. So if you are in an insecure relationship, your mental health is out. You can't think straight. You can't make a decision. You are afraid. And so it's very worrying. And the imbalance is that you are always supporting them to feel okay. And then you don't feel okay because they will not support you in any way. So totally it's an abuse, and it's not healthy for you physically. You start getting even physical health problems because you are maintaining an insecure person in your life, and you lose sense of direction. You can't focus on your dreams, your career. It just becomes a worrying life for the person at the receiving end. It becomes a worry. Every day you are worried, and at the end of the day, you don't even know what dress to wear. Sadly,
people are saying some very interesting things.
And Edem, that brings me to last week when you asked about the narcissism. Remember, you said if you truly love the person, if you love the person, it's difficult for anybody to just tell you leave. So as a coach, we have to help you to find balance, to stay with the person until you come to the place to know that this is not the place for me. Yes. So if you love the person, we have to support you to grow and start making that decision that you have to leave.
Great.
You know.
I like the point you made about you have decided to maintain an insecure person, and you need to have a whole maintenance and management plan.
It's difficult
because like it or leave it, especially so. Kofi, I'll come to you in a bit. If you have had, we talked about communications. If you have had communications, you've talked. You've been able to, some of them are good enough, they will listen. They've been able to listen to you, and you've told them that this is me, I'm not doing anything like the things you're suspecting me of and all that. You're not doing them, you're okay, you're this and this, and they still won't take it. And so now yet you want to be with them.
Yeah,
you want to be with them. Yeah. But they still won't take your explanations. You've had all the talks, you've had everything. The only way they believe you is if you live according to their rules.
Their manual.
And I like what you said last week. You talked about the fact that the rules don't apply to them.
No, it doesn't.
They apply only to you.
Yeah, to you. Yeah.
So you've done all the communication. You've tried to prove to them in ways that you can. And it is still the same. What do you do? But Kofi, first... if you have anything to add to the effect.
To add to what Phoebe and Ariel have said, I think they've said a lot. In addition to the fact that insecurity breeds mistrust, it also suffocates the relationship. It squeezes the air out of the relationship, and anything that cannot breathe will eventually die. It's also important to note that it makes communication in a relationship very difficult because you're focusing so much on getting somebody, second guessing someone, and trying to control them and all. There may be other critical issues in the relationship that you need to actually sit down and talk about, discuss, and have solutions to. But because you're focused so much on getting this person to behave in a particular way that suits your needs, those things may be sidelined, which will eventually also spell doom for the relationship. It's also important to say, and as Ariel has alluded to, that people who are insecure are very needy. They want you to continually reassure them. You know, you have to tell them everything you're doing, where you are, and so on and so forth. And that can put a lot of pressure on the other party to the extent that it becomes very unhealthy, and it may affect your well-being. So generally, insecurity may spell doom for the relationship.
Yeah.
I heard a story about you know, I mean, like Ariel said, she's a people person. She's in a I don't want to say the details. She's in a people space.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what she does. And this person who is in a people space goes out to like a birthday party with her friends. You come back and then your partner says that you went to see another man. Otherwise, a woman in a very serious relationship shouldn't go for a birthday party so let's go. You say you will not go. But for what I do, I need to show up. I show up and I come back and you insist that it was because there was another man there I had to go and meet. That is why I went for the party. I try to prove, say everything there is, show you pictures, videos. You say that no, you eliminated that part of it. And what am I supposed to do in this matter? And that becomes...
It comes directly out of the controlling manual.
Ow!
No. That's how you control your partner.
You know,
by telling them where they can go and cannot go, and so on and so forth.
She said she was so frustrated that one day she just decided that, you know what, I ain't doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I can't do this because this is what gives me life. And if you can't believe that I represented because I have to be there because of the career path I have chosen.
Yeah.
And it is no. And you see, initially, like you said, it was, she was beginning to think about, okay, so what can I do for him to believe me?
Okay? Should I stop?
Let's go. That one too.
It doesn't work.
You don't want to go because of your own issues. I don't want to go, and everybody is around you, and this and this and this and this. So then stay back with me and leave the kind. Let's open a shop for you so that you operate the shop. So
I don't know if you remember a story you told once over here about a lady who was in your friend group, and she was dating someone who was always picking her up from class.
Yes.
I just remember that story, and we were discussing how sometimes they do it in a very nice way, so it's not very obvious. I remember us having that conversation that it's like they care for you. I'm just checking on you. I bought you lunch, or I'm just checking on you. I came to pick you up. Calling you 10 times a day. It's just because I care about you. It can be really tough to identify insecurity in those particular ones because it's not very clear that they are manipulating you and they are insecure.
You know,
I was going to come to that. Depending on the temperament of the person, and I mean, if they also have a personality disorder and they are also insecure, it can be difficult to even tell some of the traits of an insecure person. Just
before
like
you realize you are falling.
Oh yes, and you are falling, but you are trapped too.
Yes,
because they show up well, but at the end, there's a trick. There's something that the airs around their niceties are not healthy, you know, and it's a mental health problem. I can't deal with it. I can't think far.
So, you know, in this case, she said that, look, let's open a very big shop for you since you're a people's person.
Yeah. So you sell.
Yes, you will still have a lot of people coming to the shop
and deal with them.
So he was ready. Let's go take a loan. Like, the shop can be as big as anything.
So a shop no now better.
Stay in the shop. The people who come to the shop, you don't have to go for their parties. You just be nice to them in the shop. And this one, he is happy saying it because he's going to plant CCTV cameras all over the place. So
to check you.
After that conversation,
she knew she was in trouble.
She sent him a message and said, I'm not doing this anymore. Blocked him, deleted him from everywhere, and said, this person doesn't have my interest at heart.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
The guy is a stalker. That's what he is.
Yeah.
Not everybody has this strength,
Yeah, the courage to make the decision.
I have just
Exactly.
about 2-3 minutes to go. I don't know if we are able to discuss the bit about. So how do you deal with this?
I think everybody needs to know that we are all on a journey. We are all not whole yet. We've gone through experiences, things have affected us. Anytime something scares or make you uncertain or makes you afraid or makes you distrust someone, do a little bit of introspection. We quickly think it's the other person that is making me do what I'm doing. And I've come to, I don't work with that anymore. I don't work with that. And that has helped me to truly develop and find myself operating from a very healthy space mentally. It's not about the other person. First, check who you are, where you are coming from. What is making you afraid of me being a people's person? What is it? When you start having that conversation with yourself, it will start becoming clearer to you that some of the things you're saying the person might be doing that is a problem, it's not because of what they're doing. It's because of a belief system you have that makes you afraid, uncertain, anxious about your own worth and your abilities and your skills. You need to come to that place. If you know your worth, which we all were given by God, that we are whole people, we matter, we are complete, we are everything God wants us to be. You shouldn't be afraid that somebody will not be who they say they are to you. So do the work for yourself and trust people in your life. That's what I would say.
I think we'll need a whole show to discuss dealing with insecurity or healing from insecurity.
Yeah.
We might need a whole show because I'm sure the person who somebody may be listening to this show and realizing that I'm
insecure. Yes,
I exhibit these traits.
Yeah.
What do I do now?
Yeah.
And we need to speak to that person now, not from a place of judgment, but from a place of compassion and help, and be able to see how they will begin to also help themselves. And if they need to, go for help, they do.
Yeah, they need to seek help.
But quickly, let me remind you once again that Yum Vita infant cereal with milk is fortified with Nutri-V, and it contains 16 essential vitamins and minerals, including zinc, iron, and calcium, that aids in baby's healthy growth. It comes in 3 delicious flavors. Talk about the maize and wheat, rice and wheat variants, and 3 unique pack sizes: the 50-gram, the 400-gram tea, and the 300-gram block bottom pouch. Get the pack size that best suits your family needs. Yum Vita is a delicious way to grow. Kofi, I can give you a minute to wrap up.
Okay, so Edem, I would like to say that we sometimes have to come to terms with the fact that not every relationship is meant to work out or is meant to be. So we have to be prepared to walk away sometimes. It's okay that some relationships will fail so that you don't stay with all that anxiety and apprehension. And also learn to focus on the positive sides of the positive actions of your partner. There may be a lot of good things that they're doing that are reassuring enough, but you may only be focusing on the few things they are not doing or the few things that you're suspicious about, and by doing so you miss all the good things they're doing that should give you hope about the future of the relationship.
Thank you very much. And finally, from you, Phoebe.
I just wanted to say that, there's a difference between having a genuine concern and then being worried about something but wanting to exert control over that person. And if you are wondering if you're insecure or maybe you just have a genuine concern about an issue in the relationship, that's one of the things that you need to check. Do you feel like you need to control the person to make you happy? Then there could be a problem that you need to address and you need to get help with. And like Ariel, we were saying earlier that you need to do some introspective work. Find out where it's coming from and start your journey to healing.
All right, great. Thank you very much. This is where we are ending Home Affairs today. Next week, I just think that, we probably will just have to try and finish up the conversation next week. And so let's look at the bit about dealing with the the insecurities properly, how to heal from it, and how to become a better person,
Yeah.
so you can enjoy your relationships better, you know, and also come to realize how your actions are affecting
The
your
other
partner,
person,
you
yeah.
know, and then we look at it so that we can conclude on this. Well, thank you very much, Kofi. Thank you, Phoebe, and thank you, Ariel, for being able to join us this morning. I appreciate you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Thank you, Edem.
Thank you.
Hi, Phoebe.
Hi, Phoebe.
Hi.
Take care.
Enjoy
Hi,
your
Ariel.
weekend.
Bye, Ariel.
Bye.